guys, back on the car. Daddy's been working on it. Yesterday I didn't get over here, so he had a chance to work on some stuff. So he got new fitting in there, got our thermostat hooked back up, put a brand new one in there, moved over all the little stuff to this intake, got some carburetor stud bolts, and worked on these. Check these things out. So Daddy's a little bit of an artist, and carefully painted in all three sides of these rectangles, and then all of this, and then kind of polished the tops a little bit, and the bottoms are just the cast aluminum, and I think they look pretty killer. It's going to tie the blue and the silver in together nicely. Like them? How long did it take you?
4 hours to do them.
Yeah, they look good. They look real good. Okay, got a few more things sorted out. Now we're gonna go ahead and change out these valve covers. Get the new gaskets on them, those bolted down, carburetor on, rest of that, and then we'll get the new alternator on, and then pop the distributor in. All right, there's one side off. And these look pretty clean too. You can tell the motor has been apart because there's some blue paint on the studs there. The valve covers are about to go on, and realize since we had those stamped steel ones, the bolts are not long enough. These have a big, huge shoulder, which is good. So we'll have to go back after some longer bolts. All right, there's the ugly side. Here's the pretty side. Big difference. That looks pretty awesome. All right, guys, got the car hooked back up, springs on, throttle linkage on, got all the hoses hooked back up. It looks pretty dang good. So now we need to get the alternator on, the new distributor, and air cleaner. Fire it up. Okay, coming together, starting to look really good. Alternator's back on. Does have the 1-wire conversion on it. That'll be in a separate video that'll be coming. But this looks pretty good. Definitely getting there. All right, so alternator's on, everything's wired up. Now working on the distributor. We get it set in there, and we can start plugging everything back up. All right, guys, now I know I've been saying this whole time I'm gonna use this HEI distributor, but this thing just doesn't look right. Got it in there now. For one thing, it's huge, and I knew it was gonna be bigger, but it's huge. The air cleaner is gonna have to be spaced up, or the carburetor's gonna be spaced up just to fit the air cleaner on there. And I know it would obviously work better than the original. It's all electronic and everything too. But I like the style of this car, and I like it to be kind of a retro kind of look. I want it to look as though it could be a Survivor just the way it is from the 60s. So I like using older looking, somewhat original looking stuff. Like the valve cover, stuff like that. And this distributor just looks too new. So I think I'm gonna go back with the old one if we can get it cleaned up, make it look pretty nice. Okay, so now since we used the old one, we lined it directly back up with the tape mark there, and then started it on that 2 mark, which is kind of wiped off, and it ended on my other mark there. So that should be pretty much exactly where it left off at. So we'll try that, and then got the cap cleaned up, and I think it'll look better. All right, guys, there it is. All of our numbers are back on, pretty much the way they came off. And the engine is pretty much done. I still got to put the coil wire on. This thing's not going to start, but that looks pretty dang good. I think completely transformed the engine. Nice touch up on the front. Diddy's job on the valve covers look amazing. New alternator looks good in there. Now all we got to do is fire it up, see if it still runs. And then if it does, we'll get all this painted black in here and have a final reveal. Look pretty good. So I just noticed we got to hook our fuel line back up. So a couple little things to do and we'll have this thing running in a minute. Like we did it. Running pretty smooth. Just gotta warm up. Got an automatic choke, but got it unhooked. Does seem to be running pretty smooth though. Starting to really wonder about Ford racing parts. There goes all of our water on the floor. And there's still a bunch in here, so there's a whole bunch coming. And this bolt on top is now stripped out. Well, there's part of our mess. And still a pretty good bit in here. We've dried up a lot of it, and we took it back apart and took a bolt out, and we put a longer one in to try to catch more threads, and luckily we were able to get it to sink down in there farther. But this aluminum doesn't have the strength that that steel does, and this seems like pretty thin aluminum. It seems like 76 Harley aluminum, which is pretty horrible. So there you go, stripping bolts.